Knowing the difference between tax evasion and tax avoidance is important because it can mean the difference between paying lower taxes and going to prison. Robert is looking for a way to lower his gross income and reduce the amount of money that he pays to the government in taxes. Robert decides to engage in tax avoidance by maximizing the full amount of tax deductions and tax credits that he can take. Robert maxes out his 401k contribution amount and donates to different charitable organizations so that he has the lowest adjusted gross income possible. Once Robert files his taxes, his tax liability will be much lower than it would have been if he had not employed this strategy. Subsequently, Robert has a lower tax bill. Robert employs tax avoidance, which is the use of different methods and strategies to lower the amount of taxes that he owes. This method is perfectly legal and is used by accountants and tax professionals to save their clients money. If Robert would have gone the route of tax evasion, then he would have found himself in hot water. Tax evasion is an illegal practice that involves intentionally avoiding paying taxes that are owed. Had Robert chosen the tax evasion route, he would not have reported all of his earnings to the Internal Revenue Service and would have ignored disclosing the interest earned on his savings account. Robert would run the risk of facing criminal charges and paying substantial fines and penalties. Tax avoidance will allow taxpayers to either lower their tax liabilities altogether or defer them to a much later date. This is a much better option than tax evasion, which will increase the tax liability if discovered and leave the taxpayers subject to fines and imprisonment.
Good afternoon, Attorney Alam Martinez. I am a student from Central Escolar University, and today we are going to have an interview. So let's move on to our questions. Our first question is, what is the difference between tax evasion and tax avoidance in your own perception?
Well, basically, you talk about good and bad. Tax evasion is bad. Okay? Tax avoidance is good, and that is allowed by law. So basically, when you talk about evasion, you use illegal means to either reduce your tax or not pay a tax at all. In tax evasion, you use legal means so that the taxes will be reduced. That's basically the difference between tax avoidance and tax evasion.
So, sir, for our second question is, what are the legal actions or procedures that the government do to condemn the tax evaders?
Well, basically, first they try to do it civil. Okay? They try to audit you and ask you to correct your tax return, your information. If you do not agree, then that's the problem. If you do not agree, then the BIR, the government, can file a case against you in court. Of course, they go through the Department of Justice. Remember, a case filed by the BIR is a criminal case. However, if you're able to settle, so you don't go to court.
So, paano, sir, pag hindi nagkaroon ng agreement between the parties?
Pag hindi nagkaroon ng agreement, ang finally gagawin ng BIR, i-assess ka. We'll give you a time frame to pay. If you do not pay, then they will file the case.
And then after
then you go to court already. Yan ang matagal na proseso. Okay. Yes, matagal yan.
Okay, for our third question, sir, is how does the government trace the people who do tax avoidance since it is legal in some way?
Well, you know, every taxpayer, when you file a return, that is reviewed by the BIR. So if they think that you should not deduct a certain expense, they will write you. They will give you an authority a letter of authority sa BIR to check the records, etc. Okay? So with that, they're able to talk to the taxpayer to say, you are not allowed to deduct this expense, or you underreported your income, then mag-uusap kayo. Okay? Hopefully, that can be settled by that point in time.
So for our fourth service, how big is the effect of tax evasion avoidance to the ordinary people in the Philippines?
Well, basically, it's very big because taxes, we call it the lifeblood of government. So if you do not have blood, then you will die. So the government has to get taxes so that the government will run. If you do not pay the taxes properly, okay, or you do not pay at all, then the money to the government will be less. Then the problem there to the ordinary person is you don't have the services. No free education, okay? No health services, these things. So affected ang ordinary citizen.
So totoo po ba na yung sa tax na gagaling sa atin is ginagamit ng government para sa mga work in highways, ganun po?
Yes, aside from yung mga health services, education, yung mga infrastructure, yung mga build ngayon, okay? These are projects which are being funded by the government, although there sometimes they are grant, no? Okay?
So in this, sir, malaking epekto sa mga tao sa Pilipinas yung hindi pagbabayad ng tax.
Yes, isipin mo lang, tanggalin ko yung dugo mo, mamamatay ka. So parang ganun yun. Tanggalin mo yung taxes, walang pera pang sweldo, wala kang pupuntahang munisipyo, wala kang pupuntahang city hall, who will serve you? So it's very important.
So sir, for our last question is, did you ever had a case of a well-known person who comes from Evasion?
Well, let's put it this way. Ibang usapan yung nag-file ng kaso, isa na-convict. Basically, wala pa talagang malaking tao, well-known person who has been convicted.
Sure, ano si convicted?
That means nagkaroon na ng court ruling na siya ay evader. Iba yun eh. Di ba? At kita mo, mababasa mo yung si Lucio Tan, nagkaroon ng kaso, pero kay Lucio Tan, naayos yung kaso. So, hindi siya na-convict. So, libre siya. Di ba? So, ganun yun. Convicted, medyo wala pa talaga tayong big fish. There are only about 1 or 2 na nahuli o convicted. Kasi nga, unang-una, matagal yung kaso. At saka, along the way, may chance na maareglo with the government. At papayag ang gobyerno. Kasi mas gusto niya yung habol ng pera kesa yung ikulong ng tao.
Yes. Sir, can you please enlighten me about the topic na some gossip na sinasabi na more people or more successful people dumidikit sa BRR para ma-lessen yung tax na binabayaran nila sa gobyerno?
Well, hindi lang naman more successful or rich people dumidikit. Everybody, kahit ikaw, ordinaryong empleyado ka, gusto mo tumabi sa BIR. Siyempre alam mo, yung mga empleyado dyan, tao rin yan. So, pag maganda PR mo sa kanila, medyo mas maluwag sila sa iyo, medyo papayagan yung mga deductions, di ba? Yung mga ganun. So, hindi naman talaga for rich people lang yan. Everybody would like to be close to them to get advantages. Na sabihin mo, kunyari ikaw, papangalan mo sa kapatid mo kasi ayaw mo mabisto na meron kang property. Ayun yung mga schemes na iniisip na minsan hindi legal. Ganun lang ko yun, lalo na pag nakatrabaho ko sa gobyerno, ayaw mo palabasin lahat yung properties mo.
Thank you, sir, for the interview, sir.
Sige, welcome. Welcome.
Particular company, pero usually for tax evasion, the BIR goes after those big companies. Usually multinational companies sila na nakukuha nila yung tax evasion. Laging issue kasi tax evasion or tax avoidance kasi not surprisingly, these companies do schemes or methods para mapababa yung taxes nila, especially if they have businesses abroad or subsidiaries lang sila. Like for example, when a person dies, yung sa estate taxes.
Okay. Yeah.
So, para mapababa yung estate taxes that the heirs have to pay. Usually prior to that, nililipat nila yung
Title.
yung title ng mga properties.
In their names.
In their names.
Yeah.
Para hindi sila magbayad ng estate taxes. Things like that.
Maraming gumagawa niyan, I think.
Siya very common yun eh.
The existing laws and regulations and punishments of the government are enough?
Sa akin, I don't find them particularly strict for large business owners, kunwari. Like, they're able to get away with taxes kasi, sorry, can I backtrack to one of your questions earlier? I remember that there's a chain of restaurants, I think last year, or was it the year before, Manhattan, na they had problems with taxes. So, for a while, their restaurants were in danger of closing, pero naayos na nila. Anyway, going back to your current question, the government penalizes yung mga small and medium business owners quite heavily, pero when it comes to bigger businesses, wala silang ginagawa.
What can you suggest po na way to
Sa akin,
change?
sa akin kasi, if you're a big business owner, the fact na multinational company ka, kunwari, or the fact na, alam mo yun, na sobrang laki mo, like SM, for example, you can honestly, you can afford to pay bigger taxes. Kasi yung taxes naman, whenever government gets taxes from its people, it's for the development of the country. So you should be paying bigger taxes. Tapos, the government should be promoting yung mga small, medium business owners. So they should be getting lesser taxes, in my opinion. So for me, it's a matter of balancing out how much your income tax is. Yung mga maliliit na, yung mga people who are in like 15K a month, for example, yung mga call center agents, mga people like that, medyo malaki rin yung taxes nila. So I feel like if you balance out the taxes a little bit more, just so that especially in this economy ngayon, alam mo naman yung mga train law, mga ganon. So if you balance out taxes a little bit more, especially in consideration to your social class, kunwari, kasi not everyone naman who earns this much is really able to save up, kasi medyo malaking taxes na nga nila, mataas pa yung mga presyong bibilhin. So it's about adjusting lang talaga the level of taxes for me, in my opinion.
Sir, last question.
Sure.
Personally po, do you think you are a tax evader?
Personally, hindi. Kasi ako, I paid, back when I worked in the call center, I paid technically yung call center na yung kumuha ng tax namin. Pero I paid my income taxes. Saka, when it comes to, even when you buy at a regular store, 7-Eleven, SM, or Jollibee, kunwari, may VAT naman yan eh. So, you pay for those taxes naman talaga.
How affected do you think are the citizens of the country because of the current rate of tax evasion and tax avoidance?
Well, on a legal perspective kasi, based on what I know about it lang, if you're doing tax avoidance in a legal manner, so that's via accounting, receipts, etc., okay lang naman. Pero then, when you're going about it in illegal manners, especially na alam mong ganito yung income tax mo, kunwari, pero you choose to file it as something else, that can play a big effect, especially for smaller business, bigger businesses, not smaller businesses, kasi surprisingly malaki yung income tax ng mga smaller or medium-sized businesses. Pero when it comes to bigger businesses, parang ang dami nilang premiums na parang they don't really have to pay much, or they're able to avoid taxes sometimes through legal manners, which is fine, pero other times illegal na kasi yung ginagawa nila.
Okay. What legal processes are there for taxpayers to lessen their tax?
I think some companies, or at least some employees, they have a tax shield. Parang it's something that allows them to pay less tax, or hindi sila natatax ng standard na 32%. So I think for some corporations na foreign, they're also exempt from paying tax. So I think that's legal here in the country. Now we allow people to pay less tax via a tax shield.
The Bureau of Internal Revenue on Friday files a 1 billion peso tax evasion complaint against Prieto-owned Golden Donuts Incorporated, the Philippine franchisee of international brand Dunkin' Donuts. The BIR files the complaint before the Justice Department, the result of President Rodrigo Duterte's marching order to probe the Prietos for non-payment of taxes. The Prietos also owned majority shares of broadsheet Philippine Daily Inquirer before they sold them to business tycoon Ramon Ang. declared as campaign donut. The BAR says Golden Donuts substantially underdeclared its sales by 39% for a tax deficiency of 1.1 billion pesos covering taxable year 2007. It adds there was deliberate failure to provide correct information in the company's income tax returns. Golden Donuts is entitled to a 6.6% continuing royalty fee of the gross sales of its franchisees. The BAR says Golden Donuts underdeclared its royalty income by more than 38.9 million pesos.
The Bureau of Internal Revenue is preparing to file at least 3 more tax evasion cases against cigarette maker Mighty Corporation after a series of raids on the cigarette firm's warehouses. Authorities seized the firm's cigarettes with allegedly fake tax stamps in Tacloban City, General Santos City, and in Bulacan worth more than 3 billion pesos. BIR Commissioner Cesar Dulay said the government is open to a compromise but said tax cases should be filed first. In March, the BIR filed a 9.56 billion peso tax evasion complaint against Mighty Corporation with the Justice Department, also for cigarettes bearing allegedly fake tax stamps that were seized from a Pampanga warehouse.
Bureau of Internal Revenue magsasampa o nagsampa ng tax evasion case laban kay Rappler President Maria Ressa. Ang sento po ng balita niyan mula kay Kenneth Pasyente. Yes, Kenneth.
Angelique, formal na naghain ng tax evasion case ang Bureau of Internal Revenue sa Department of Justice laban sa Rappler Holdings Corporation. Kabilang na nga dyan ang president ng Rappler na si Maria Ressa at kanilang treasurer na si James Bitanga. Aabot sa mahigit 130 milyong piso ang tax liability ng Rappler Holdings Corporation para sa taong 2015. Mahigit 70 milyong piso para sa kanilang income tax habang mahigit 40 milyong piso naman sa kanilang value-added tax. Ayon sa BIR, nag-issue at nagbenta ng mahigit 180 milyong pisong halaga ng Philippine Depository Receipts ang Rappler Holdings Corporation sa 2 foreign firms pero bigong magbayad ng income tax at value-added tax sa naturang transaksyon. Dagdag pa ng BIR, hindi sila na-pressure sa utos ng sinumang opisyal at ginagawa lamang nila ang kanilang trabaho pagdating sa tax collection, sikat man o hindi ang taxpayer. Samantala, Angelique, kasama rin sa inirereklamo ng BIR ang external auditor ng Rappler Holdings Corporation na si Noel Baladyang dahil sa pagpirma nito sa financial statement kahit na mali ang deklarasyon ng kliyente nito sa kanilang income tax return. Inaasahan ng BIR na tatalima ang Rappler Holdings Corporation sa oras na matanggap na nila ang kopya ng kaso. Mula dito sa Maynila, Kenneth Pasyente para sa Bayan.
Okay, maraming salamat, Kenneth Pasyente.
Hinaina na sa DOJ na reklamong tax evasion ng Bureau of Internal Revenue sina Mark Taguba at Kenneth Dong, dalawa sa mga nadawit sa 6.4 billion peso shabu shipment na nakalusot sa Bureau of Customs. Mahigit 850 million pesos ang hinahabol ng BIR kay Taguba mula sa kinita raw na 1.2 billion pesos mula noong 2016 bilang fixer. Ang negosyante namang si Kenneth Dong hindi raw nagbayad ng buwis na 11.4 million pesos.
In sum, Mr. Taguba did not pay any taxes for the business that he conducted for the periods 2009 to 2016.
Ayon kay BIR Commissioner Cesar Dulay, sinimula nila ang investigasyon matapos ang pagharap ng dalawa sa Senado. Nakapag-acquire raw ang dalawa ng ilang ari-arian gaya ng ilang mamahaling sasakyan at bahay. Sa record ng LRA, nakabili raw si Taguba ng mga lupa sa Cavite mula 2014 hanggang 2016. Mayroon din daw trucking business at iba pang negosyo na hindi nakatala sa BIR at SUV na mahigit 1.5 million ang halaga. Si Dong naman nakapag-contribute pa raw ng 12 million pesos sa ilang senatoriable mula 2013.
That item on his contributions does not really add up to the strength of our case. It's part of his statements and part of the records we called out. What is important for us is he did not pay any taxes. Using the expenditure method.
Si Dong naman bukod sa SUV, may dalawang luxury cars daw na 6.9 million pesos ang kabuang halaga. Bukod kina Kenneth Dong at Mark Taguba, pinaiimbestigahan din ng BIR kaugnay sa tax evasion ang ilan pang mga kumpanya na nabanggit din noon sa investigasyon ukol sa 6.4 billion peso na shabu smuggling sa Bureau of Customs.
We are still, as mentioned by our Commissioner, we are collating the evidences against the other players.
Ayon sa mga abogado ni Taguba, hindi pa raw muna sila magbibigay ng pahayag kaugnay sa kaso hanggang hindi pa nila nakukuha ang kopya ng reklamo. Sinusubukan pa naming makuha ang panig ni Dong. Ian Cruz, Nakatutok, 24 Oras.